Congratulations, Dr. Rafael Nadal. Graduation cap first athlete to receive Dr. Honoris Causa from University of Salamanca. It was a golden morning in Salamanca, the kind that painted the medieval stone walls with soft sunlight and history's whispers. Bells echoed across the Plaza Mayor as thousands gathered near the ancient halls of the University of Salamanca, the third oldest university in the world. Inside, a grand ceremony was about to begin. Velvet banners bearing the university's seal hung proudly beside the Spanish flag. Professors in ceremonial robes filled the hall, their caps tilted with age-old prestige. Cameras flashed. A string quartet played softly. Then, through the arched entrance, Rafael Nadal appeared. He wasn't in tennis whites this time. He wore the black robe of academic honor, embroidered with gold trim, a symbol not of competition, but of contribution. His wife, Mary Perello, stood quietly by his side, pride glowing in her eyes. A hush fell over the room. For the first time in the university's 800-year history, they were bestowing the Dr. Honoris Causa title upon an athlete, and not just any athlete. The man who redefined resilience, humility, and greatness, Rafael Nadal Parera, the king of clay, now would be crowned the Dr. Humanity. Chapter 2, From Clay Courts to Hallowed Halls. When Raphael took his seat among philosophers, scientists, and scholars, he smiled with quiet disbelief. This wasn't where his journey began. It began on the rough clay courts of Manacor, Mallorca, a boy with shaggy hair, chasing a dream with a wooden racket and a fierce spirit. He was never the tallest or the strongest, but he was the most relentless. As the years passed, he faced everything: injuries that could have ended his career, critics who doubted his longevity, and rivals who pushed him beyond limits. Yet he always returned, sweating, bleeding, and fighting, until he became a living monument of perseverance. Today, the same hands that had lifted 22 Grand Slam trophies were about to hold a doctoral diploma from one of the most respected universities in the world. A symbol that greatness isn't confined to courts or trophies. It's written in what one gives to humanity. The university rector, Dr. Ignacio Cebrián, stepped to the podium. His voice carried the weight of centuries. In our 806 years of history, we have honored kings, poets, scientists, and philosophers. But today, we honor a man whose philosophy is written not in books, but in the language of effort, humility, and hope. We bestow upon Rafael Nadal the title of Dr. Honoris Causa for his unparalleled contribution to sportsmanship, humanitarian work, and the spirit of perseverance that embodies our highest academic ideals. Thunderous applause filled the hall. Some students wept. Professors nodded solemnly. Then came the line that would echo across the world. He taught us that genius is not a gift, but a discipline, and that true education begins when we fall and choose to rise again. Raphael stood. The room rose with him. Cameras clicked, but for a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. He began softly, his Spanish accent thick, but his words clear. When I was young, I didn't dream of titles like this. I dreamed of hitting the ball one more time when I thought I couldn't. He smiled, the humility that had always defined him shining through. I never considered myself a scholar, but life and tennis have been my university. Every loss, every injury, every victory has taught me something about patience, about effort, about respect, and most of all, about the human heart. The crowd leaned in. We live in a time when it's easy to forget the value of failure. But I learned that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every match lost taught me how to win better, not only in tennis, but in life. He paused, his eyes softening. I accept this honor not for what I've achieved, but for what I've learned, and for what I can give back. Because if education is about learning how to be human, then sport, too, is one of its greatest teachers. The hall erupted in applause. Students stood, cheering. Professors nodded with tears glimmering in their eyes. As part of the ceremony, the university presented Raphael with a symbolic gift, a handcrafted golden quill mounted beside a miniature tennis racket. The plaque read, "To Rafael Nadal, who wrote his thesis in sweat, his dissertation in resilience, and his legacy in humanity." He laughed softly when he saw it, then whispered to the rector, "The most beautiful trophy I've ever received doesn't shine. It means something. It wasn't just a ceremony. It was a union of intellect and spirit, proving that physical excellence and moral integrity are branches of the same tree. What many didn't know was how much Rafael had already given off the court. Through the Rafael Nadal Foundation, he had built schools and youth centers across Spain and India, offering education, mentorship, and emotional support to underprivileged children. One of those children, a 12-year-old girl from Anantapur, India, sent a letter read aloud during the ceremony. Dear Rafa, I was afraid of my future until I joined your foundation. You didn't just teach me tennis. You taught me that I matter. I will become a teacher one day because you believed in me before I believed in myself. Thank you, Dr. Nadal. Rafael's eyes glistened. He bowed his head for a moment. He had won Roland Garros 14 times, but this was his true victory. After the ceremony, students filled the courtyard to catch a glimpse of him. One held a sign that read, "You're our professor of perseverance." Another shouted, "Dr. Nadal, what's your advice for students who fail exams?" Rafa smiled, "Fail better next time." Laughter and cheers broke out, but his eyes remained serious as he added, "In sport or in life, we must not fear failure. Every time I lost a match, I went back to practice the next morning. The key is not to avoid defeat, it's to respect it, because defeat is a teacher." He shook hands with dozens of students, taking time to ask about their dreams, their studies, their families. In every interaction, he embodied the same humility that had made him beloved across the world, the humility that turned an athlete into a philosopher. That evening, the university hosted a roundtable discussion between Nadal and several professors. The topic, discipline in the mind, the parallels between sports and academia. Dr. Luis Romero, a psychology professor, asked, "Mr. Nadal, what drives you when everything hurts? When a body gives up?" Rafa smiled. "Then I let my heart play for me." The audience murmured in admiration. Pain teaches you presence. The lesson of Dr. Nadal. Long after the applause faded and the cameras turned away, Rafael Nadal continued living as he always had, quietly, purposefully, gratefully. He still trained at dawn, still signed autographs for kids, still wrote thank you notes to ball boys after matches. But now, the world called him doctor, and in every sense he had earned it, not through research or publication, but through the purest form of scholarship there is, the study of life itself. Because in the end, the University of Salamanca didn't just honor a champion. It honored a man who embodied the very lesson every scholar seeks to learn, that greatness begins where humility never ends. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.